Good morning. We're going to finish off our project cover / book cover today. So first of all, I will show you with your book cover kit. We do have instructions in there. On all of our kits, we have instructions on what you need to do. The closure I will show you now, and I don't know if I remembered. I forget. I do forget, that's bad. I do forget, I don't think I mentioned why I had this flower placed where I did, and it was really because I don't want to have this stitching sitting on top. I wanted to be able to have that sit away. So I'm guessing I've got it in the right spot, but here we are. So that actually is perfectly positioned in where it needs to be. All of our hardware all has little holes already punched into them. You probably see them better on the wrong side, but there are holes punched in everything. And we do this closure first on the front and on the back before we actually do the side seams. This one has been designed, sorry, I'm just going to pin that. And you know, usually when I can pin it easy. So we need to put the back closure. The back goes on the back and this comes over onto the front. So it feels like you're doing it a little backwards, but that's the way it goes. That's your actual closure there, and that one goes on the back. The easiest way, like these, like I said, super easy to actually stitch on. I will often use spaghetti thread. I will sometimes use these threads. I think what I might do though, oh no, that might be a little too much. We might do, no, I'll do this one. And I'll just show you how I stitch these on. But like I said, really easy. You can stitch them on on your machine as well. I tend to not do them too much by machine, but it's really more of a personal preference. I haven't actually been able to, well, I kind of have, you know, depending on what one it is, but it's setting up the distance between the holes to be able to get your stitch length correct. I'm going to allow a little bit of space. I've got 2-3 mil there, I think, so that when we're stitching it together, we're going to just stitch on the, and now here we go, on the right hand side of our closure. So I'm holding that closure in place. It's not hard to hold, and I'm just going to start obviously from the back, and we'll come up into doing our first hole. Sometimes depending on what project I'm doing, which one, I may even start with my knot under the closure so that I'm not having it go through onto the other side. With this one, this is the one time where I do actually go all the way through. So I would do all the way through the felt, and we're going in and out through all of the different holes. So I find it easier to start on that side and then work my way around the round the curved bit. Sorry, and now I'm just trying to find where the hole is. There we are. We can do it. And just keep working your way around that way. So that. So you can do you can have fun with the different color threads or whatever you like. depending on what I'm doing, sometimes I will just do plain black because I don't want to draw attention to it, but you can make a highlighty feature this way. So you see it's really quite quick to do. Having the holes already punched makes it really easy. Super easy. Okay, nearly there. I actually quite like having the green against the black there. It's looking really good. And last one, so back up through our original hole. And look at that. They look very pretty. So we're just tying that one off. And really, it doesn't look too messy on the inside. It's not too bad at all. But same as what I do with everything else, just run the needle back through a little bit, pull it off, and then cut that away. Easy. So for evening up on the back side, that's what we do. Okay, so it is easier if you pop the front one on first. Then we can pop the closure on the top, hold that there, flip over, and then we've got the next one to pop on there. Now with this one, we're not wanting to pull it super tight like that because we want to allow the space on the inside for our book cover, our whatever we're going to use it for, because remember, keep in mind you've got your mesh bag that we stitch in as well. So we just need we've got the 2 level, and so I am looking at, okay, we have holes here. That's the hole. There's a row along there, and I have got these about a 3mm distance from the edge of my felt here. So that's there, maybe 3, maybe 4mm. That's where I've got that. That's where I want it to be. I am just going to hold that, and I'm going to unclip from the front. Now I've got my closure free, and just stitching that on again. Again, as before, I find it better just to do the straight part, and then you've got that held on. If you ever need any help, please let me know. And again, we just work our way around there. So there we are. That's our closure done. We'll just tie that off. And as always before, we do that, and there we go. So one closure done. Inside, you can see actually my work on the inside is not too bad. It's not too messy. But for the pockets, the facings and things on the inside, so I did a little bit more just because that tends to be what I do. You know, once you get started, you can't stop, you can't help yourself. So I did a little bit more, but I've left these gaps here because I'm going to stitch the pockets in that way. And I'm going to use this one more as a notebook cover rather than a project bag. But it really doesn't matter. It's having the pockets in there, you can kind of do your own thing. So I'll show you what I do with just stitching these on. I am going to do these by machine today. There's no reason why you can't do them by hand. It's quite easy. I have put together, yes, I have put together one of these completely by hand. I don't have that sample here. I just realized where it is. It's in the UK. Anyway, what we need to do. So first of all, I'm going to stitch the pockets on. So really all we need to do is we're just going to stitch down the 3 sides. I'm leaving the pocket opening at the top, which is pretty self-explanatory. So I'll quickly do these. I am using a thread that's called Designer by Wonderfeel. It's just an all-purpose polyester thread. It's really good. I like it. It's just one of those, like I said, all-purpose threads. 50 weight polyester you can use for all sorts of different things. I might have to pop some of it on the website. It's only $4.20 for a 1,000 meter spool, so it's a very good price. But yes, I think I have to pop it on the website. So just stitching this one on, and just really straight stitch. I tend to like to do like a three stitch lengths. That's just me, and you will see that this is super easy to put together. Okay. Number 1 pocket done. I did say too, I think in my other, whenever it was, Monday maybe, that playing around with the facings and the pockets before, if you're a bit worried about doing something on the actual outside of the project book cover, you can certainly play around with practicing your stitches on the inside. I did create these little circles just out of the same pieces of fabric that we had in the kit. And I used the same templates as well. Okay. So easy. If we can, leave it there, and that will fit a business card or a credit card or something in there. If you wanted to make it for a little bit more of a project bag, and you wanted to pop a divider in there, no reason why you can't do that. Then you can pop a couple of packets of needles in there, which work. The beauty of having the felt like this too is that you can make it into, you can pop your needles in here. Then they can sit in there while you're doing your other work. You can do that kind of thing. So, use it how you're going to get the most out of it. So I've got those done. The back facing, I haven't done anything to. I tend to not do so much with the back one, because if I'm popping a book in there, or even if I am using it for a project bag, I'll often get like a little narrow book and just pop it in there anyway. So if I'm, you know, wanting to do any kind of design something, or I've got some ideas, I'll just write them in there. So we'll put this together. Now we've already done our closure, and then we're just going to purely stitch up these sides. I prefer to do it so I've got it on the top, so I line it all up, and that's purely just because we're going to be going past this part here, and I need to change my foot. So I do find it easier to use a zipper foot, and I will just get that out because I forgot that one. Okay, got my zipper foot. And we're going that way. Oh, I'm forgetting a step. This is me getting ahead of myself. So in your kit, you will have a couple of pieces of elastic. Those pieces are of elastic so that you can pop in here if you wanted to. You could stitch some pieces of elastic across so that you could pop, you know, maybe a pair of scissors or something in there. I have done it one other time before where I have stitched the elastic across and then popped some stitch lines through there, and then popped a whole bunch of pencils in there and gave it to one of my nieces, and she used it a bit more as like a little art satchel, so she would have her pens and papers and things in there and do that way. I think I will show you how I have done it before, where you can create your own little pen holder here. And I have found I like to do 2 pieces of elastic to create the pen holder. And do I have a pen handy? Because, you know, okay, I do. Never mind that it's a red one, but we have a pen here. So I like to have it so that the pen has 2 pieces of elastic to hold it. So I will cut there. So I'm just cutting 2 pieces. Okay, and I'm going to do it so that the pen is going to sit just outside here, and we will make it so that okay, we'll just pin that. Maybe I'll get it pinned. Okay, so we'll pin that there, and I'm just, you know, roughly working out. So it is a good idea to determine, I guess, what size pen you're going to use first, because we do want the pen to fit snugly. And keeping in mind too that when you stitch it, we are just going to be stitching it, sorry, I missed getting that pin in. We are going to just be stitching it here, right here. So that's going to be our stitching line. This is really just excess on that side. So we're going to be stitching it there. So when we put our pen in, I might actually need to make that a little bit tighter, because, you know, I know we have pens in all different shapes and sizes. Right. Make that tighter. So on the whole, I think I would have about a 2 centimetre loop that's facing out, and that's there. Now I'm deciding, am I going to be really clever and will I just stitch it all in? But I won't. I'm going to just stitch these in first and then we'll pop the facing on. So just doing close to the edge because we don't want to put a whole bunch of stitching on top of our work. And do again. So now we'll just take away those little tails. We are going to flip it over and stitch from this side. This way we can see our work better and we're not going to be, it's more we need to go around past the closure. So really simple. And I am just taking, what am I stitching in? Just a couple of millimeters. It is a little trickier to do the seams this way. If you're unsure, you could certainly just use your regular foot to do the top and the bottom. And then swap over to the zipper foot to do past the closure. Like I said, I tend to do the zipper foot a bit more just so that we can go around any of our embellishing that we have on the top. And we get there. And hopefully we'll be able to stitch in the same place as where we've put our elastic in. Holding that out of the way. Okay, a little trickier here, over the top. Keeping it all nice and even. And that's the back side all done. So easy peasy. And then really is just repeating the same process for the front. Now we've got our pocket stitched on. And super easy. Use the pins. Just pop a couple in. And go again. So don't forget, please, if you've got any questions at all, please pop them in. But the whole idea of the kits and having them all pre-cut like this and everything is that we've taken away a lot of the other work so that you can have the fun embellishing, and then the actual construction is really simple. I need to be a little bit more careful around the end of my rickrack there. So you can see, I guess now, why I suggest putting the closure on where I did. So that does make it a lot easier when you are stitching it together. And we've got just one more thing to do. So we're looking pretty good, and that is actually just stitching in our zipper mesh bag. So it really is, again, super easy. I'm going to change my foot over, go back to just a regular foot, and we are just all about popping this in the center. Again, if you wanted to, you could stitch it in by hand. You can certainly do it that way and make, you could make a feature of it on the wrong side. I'm just going to flip that over there. So we're just actually going to be stitching through here. I will do this one by machine, but you could certainly incorporate stitching the bag in and doing some nice stitching on this side, so you can do it that way. But for the sake of time today, I'll stitch it in by machine and see how that looks. So I'm really just lining it up with the edges on each end, making sure I've got it in the center, and I'll pop a couple of pins in and we'll just stitch through the center of it. So smack down the middle, which I know I'm going to have to go that way. I am going to turn it over because a little mindful. So I've got my pins. I will do it this way. It will be much nicer. So swap the pins over. So we've got the pins on the top. Pins on the top will become my stitching guide, and there we'll stitch through. So this way I'm actually I'm avoiding going through the rickrack on the top. Stop it there. So I haven't gone through the rickrack now, and I'll have a look and see if I have gone far enough. So that's now the stitching line there, and I didn't go through the rickrack up here. So it has left it, it's a little short from the top and a little short from the bottom, but I actually don't think that's going to be a problem. But if I find it is, I can stitch that again later. So there we have it. That is our finished project book cover. Let's see. Here's a little notebook, and we'll pop a notebook in and have a look. There. So it fits a standard A5 book cover, and there's my little red pen. my little red pen in there. And then we can close it all up. And there we have it. So it looks really, really, really pretty. Really super excited at how it looks. So that looks great there. As I said before too, that if you wanted to use it more for projects and things, it does hold lots of thread. You can pop some scissors. What else have I got here? I got a little bit of thread. I need to get my my Epiflex English paper piecing things, pop them in there, and that's it. So I think it looks great. You can please show me when you've got yours finished. I would love to see what yours are like too. And don't forget, it really is, you do your own thing. The whole idea was that our kits are designed by us but made by you. So you put your own little stamp or whatever on them. I'm super happy with this one. I think it looks gorgeous, and I really can't wait to see what you guys have done as well. So yeah, please share them with us. But also, if you want to follow us on Aster Anne Instagram and Facebook as well, who knows what else you might find there. There's other things. I'd love for you to come and join me over there. So thank you so much for your time this morning, ladies. I hope you have an awesome day and look forward to catching up with you again very, very soon. So thank you. Bye.